Reality bites, and sometimes reality has a way of biting you in ways you might not have imagined. For the last couple of weeks, my son Matt has been hanging out here in Las Vegas with me, and we've been doing all the father-son stuff. We've been going to dinner, we've been going to shows, we've been girl watching, we've been sightseeing, we've been to the lake, we've been to Hoover Dam, we've been barbecuing, we've been gardening, and we've been having a great time. Now, at some point in the conversation over the last couple of days, he started to tell me about his grandfather's 87th birthday, which is today. And I said, so why don't you just go back and surprise him? And he goes, well, I really don't have the money. And I said, well, let me take a look at the miles I have. I got like 1.7 million miles on American Airlines. So long short, yesterday we sat around and we figured out that last night I could get him out first class because he'd never flown first class. I figured, what the hell? Spend the miles on your son, give him a nice trip back east. So we fly him first class last night. He gets back to Newark, New Jersey this morning at 9:30, gets back to his house, and he's coming out of the shower. He's getting dressed. He's going to the card store. He's going to surprise his grandfather for his 87th birthday. He's all excited. He texted me when he landed in Newark. He goes, first class rocks. I texted him back, don't get used to it. Long short, he's heading out the door. His phone rings. It's his Uncle Chet. Uncle Chet says, we need to talk. He says, what's the matter? And he could tell by the tone in his voice that something wasn't quite right. Well, unfortunately, Matt's grandfather died last night at the age of 86. Chet Cooper was his name, is his name. Chet Cooper was a good man. The world is a better place because of Chet Cooper. He's my former father-in-law, Matt's grandfather. And even though Matt's mom and I got divorced, my grandfather and I always considered ourselves to be in that relationship. A good guy, a solid guy. And more importantly, a guy that was there for my son when I wasn't. Because of pride or ego or stupidity or a combination of all of the above, there were gaps in the relationship between my son and I that Chet Cooper filled. Chet Cooper took my son Matt on a 6-month trip to Alaska to sightsee and to fish and to spend time. And when there were times when a son needed his father and his father wasn't there, his grandfather was there for him. Chet Cooper was that guy. Chet Cooper was that grandfather. Chet Cooper was that dad. Chet Cooper is that kind of guy. And I know Matt is extremely disappointed in the passing of his grandfather. And I know that I feel the same, maybe not to the same degree that he does. But sometimes when you think you have it all figured out, sometimes when you look at the news, this morning I was all revved up about Carly Fiorina and Hillary Clinton and budget deficits and ISIS and terrorism. But the reality is, sometimes reality gives you a cold smack in the face. And it's not to say that the things in life that we find ourselves involved in, politically, socially, economically, aren't important. They are. But what's important is what we do with who we care about while we're here, while we still have the time. Now, there's a lot of people that have strained relationships with their mother, with their father, with their aunts, with their uncles, with their kids. And there's a lot of reasons why those things do happen and continue to happen. But sometimes these types of events cause you to just sit up and take notice and say, you know what? There's no guarantee of tomorrow. There's no guarantee of later today. But I do know that while I have today, I'm going to do everything that I know I need to do and I want to do and I should do to make sure that I let the people know in my life that are important to me how much I care about them and how much they mean to me, because we might not have the opportunity to do that when they're gone.